Hi, I'm at the Amphawa Floating Market. This is the second floating market that we've been to. There has been there was another one that we went to that was original. And that one's much smaller, and it's quaint, and it's nice. But this one is huge. So you have to come about 2 hours from Bangkok to get over here. And it's in Amphawa. It's a huge tourist destination, and everybody will know about it. It's a pretty common place to go. And if you're a tourist in Bangkok, you've got to come here, right? On Friday, it's open 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. And on Saturday and Sunday, it is open from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. But if there's not a lot of business, they close up at night around 9 p.m., all right? When you get to the parking lot, you walk in, there's a whole bunch of stalls and a whole bunch of things that you can buy, a lot of interesting things to see. And then when you get to the actual river, the pier area, this is where we are, the pier, there's a lot of boats to rent. You can rent a boat for about 600 baht. Or if you're going to go per person, you can go 200 per person if you're a foreigner, and 100 if you're a Thai. All right, that's bahts. The river runs along shops and a lot of interesting little cafes and places where you can stop and eat. A lot of interesting things to see. And then the boat goes one big round, takes about an hour, hour and a half. And they show you fireflies along the way. It's a peaceful, quiet, calm kind of setting. Anyways, today on the floating market here, I would like to talk about integrity. Integrity basically means that you honor what you promise, you honor your word, you honor your commitments. So whatever you say from your mouth, you do it. Whatever you promise, you do it. Whatever you have committed to, you do it. And, unless it's a life and death circumstance, then you can't do it. Or if it's a very powerful, extenuating circumstance that you can't do it, all right. And you go and explain, and you tell, and you share, and you say why you can't do it. But otherwise, you got to get it done. So basically, what you promise people, and what you tell people you're going to do, and what you say you're going to do, and a timeline that you give that you say you're going to do, you got to get it done. You got to do it. Everybody was raised differently, and everybody kind of thinks differently. But I think anywhere in the world, if you keep your promises, and you keep your commitments, and you keep your words of honor, I think you'll be a person that's respected anywhere you go. And I think that anywhere you go, people will believe you and trust you, and you develop a powerful, nurturing kind of relationship with people. I mean, what you send out is what you're going to attract. So if you're going to send out kind of an energy that whatever you say doesn't really matter, whatever you promise, you don't really keep, and if you say something and whether you do it or not is up to your convenience, if that's the kind of energy you send out, that's the kind of energy you're going to get back. That's the kind of people you're going to attract. That's the kind of character you're going to get out of people. That people won't take you seriously, and also people won't believe you or trust you. And it's not worth it to go through life for people not to trust you, because when people don't trust you, you can't get things done. You can't accomplish things. You can't fulfill what you want to do. Because whatever you want to do, you need someone else's help. You need you need their assistance. You need their help. You need them to back you up in one way or another. And if people don't trust you, they're not going to back you up. Have you come across situations where people actually say they're going to do something, and you believe it, and you rely on it, and they don't? And how did it feel? Well, that's the kind of feeling we give other people if we don't have integrity. I don't want to judge anyone, or I don't want to put anyone down, but I've come across quite a few bunch of people who didn't live their life keeping their words and promises to others. And it kind of changed at different junctures, and it kind of changed in different situations, and it kind of changed according to sometimes their convenience, I'm sorry to say. And it's very disappointing. So, as a ordinary person, to deal with family, the example you give to your kids, to deal with friends, to deal with coworkers, integrity is very important. I mean, kids trust us. You know, our kids or kids trust us. And if we tell them we're going to do something, we don't, and we disappoint them, we kind of send a message to them that it's okay to just say anything for the moment, and you don't have to mean it. And they grow up kind of talking and acting like that. That's not a good message to send to kids. If that's the kind of message we send to coworkers, or to our partner, or to our wives and husbands, the relationship is not going to be based on truth. The relationship is not going to be based on truth. The relationship is not going to be based on honesty. And when the relationship is not based on honesty, is it a real relationship? You know, so that's what we have to check out for ourselves. It's not for me to check out, but it's for ourselves to check out. And so it's kind of hard sometimes for people, so for some people, to do what they promise, to do what they say, and it makes people suffer. People who are around us, and if we don't have integrity, we make them suffer. We make them filled with anxiety. We make them not like us and not respect us, and we make it very difficult for them to work with us. And after a while, they kind of shun us. After a while, they kind of avoid us. And we may have the best justification in the world for not fulfilling our commitments. But you know, if it's once too many times, if it's once too often, then we'll experience the results, the karmic results, the emotional results, which is people shun us, and people avoid us, and people don't want to do things with us. When we don't have honor, and we don't have integrity, and we don't have the commitment to fulfill our promises, eventually we'll feel a sense of loneliness. Eventually we'll feel a sense of sadness. Eventually we'll feel a sense of isolation, because people don't want to be around us, and people don't want to be with us. And when they don't want to be with us, how do we feel? We can't blame other people. We can't say it's other people's fault. It's our fault. So in ordinary secular life, whether it's with family, with friends, with coworkers, with kids, with business partners, whatever it is extremely important at all costs to keep our promises, keep our commitments, and 100% keep to our timeline. If we do that, we will find that it's easier to work with people. People find it easier to work with us. We'll find that our relationships become better. We find that people start to, respect us, and people like us. And when people respect us and like us, it's a good feeling. Who doesn't want to be respected and liked? Who doesn't? And in everyday life, that type of practice of integrity is extremely important for a happy, harmonious existence. Now, when we get into Dharma practice, when we get into tantric practice, when we get into meditational practices, integrity is the basis of all attainments. Why is that? Because in order to enter the door of Buddhism, you need to take on the refuge vows. The refuge vows recommend for you what to do and what not to do. And in order for you to break negative habituations, in order for you to start on positive habituations, the purpose we take on the vows is to break negative habituations. The vows are not something to torture us. The vows is not something to hurt us or to bind us or to imprison us. The vows are actually something to help us transform our negative habituations to the positive. And if we study the vows very well, and we study it carefully, and we check it very carefully, and we understand them, we will notice that the vows do not imprison us. And when we take these vows, we are in front of the three jewels, the Guru Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And we, from our heart, willingly take on the refuge vows. And every single day that we hold on to the refuge vows, we collect the merit of whatever vows we have taken. And we create the merit to counter the negative habit related to that vow. For example, if every day you don't steal, it's neutral. You're not stealing. But if you take a vow that you don't steal, that you will never steal, that you will not steal, every single day that you exist holding that vow and you don't steal, you collect the merit of not stealing. The merit of not stealing is to have a very powerful personality in the future where when people listen to you, when people listen to what you say and they listen to what you have to share, it will be a very powerful impact on their minds. And also when you don't steal in the future, when you do business or when you do agriculture or when you do work, the work will be fulfilled more easily as a result of this merit. So what happens is that when you don't steal and you promise or you take a vow of not stealing according to refuge vows, then every single day you live, you will collect the merit of not stealing, as opposed to if you don't have a vow and if you don't steal, it is just neutral. Just totally neutral, nothing happens. For example, a baby doesn't steal. A baby doesn't take, a baby doesn't rob, a baby is not able to, but the baby doesn't collect the merit of not stealing. Similarly, if you take the vow of not lying and every day you don't lie, you collect the merit of not lying, as opposed to if you don't have the vow and you don't lie. So on that basis, you can relate that to all the vows. And the vows are taken by the power of the object, the subject, and the motivation. Object being the three jewels, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. The subject being oneself, being of sound mind, understanding the power of the vows. And the motivation is to attain the highest enlightenment for all sentient beings, to bring the most benefit for all sentient beings, to bring the most relief to all sentient beings. In order to accomplish that, we need to become a fully enlightened Buddha. In order to become a fully enlightened Buddha and all the stages that we need to achieve to become a fully enlightened Buddha, then one must be able to start somewhere. And that somewhere is holding the vows. The refuge vows came from Lord Buddha. It isn't something made up. Then on top of the refuge vows, you have, on the basis of the refuge vows, you have the monk vows, the nun vows. On basis of the refuge vows, you have the bodhisattva vows. On the basis of the refuge vows, you have the tantric vows. So in order to take monk vows or nun vows, you must have the refuge vows. Without the refuge vows, you cannot have any other vows, because the refuge vows are the basis. All right? So the refuge vows teach you to control your body, speech, and mind at a certain level. Then when you take the bodhisattva vows, it teaches you to generate altruism to another level. Then when you take on the tantric vows, you have the vows of transforming your perception of the world around you to another level, to that of enlightenment. Okay? So therefore, when you take the refuge vows, it is to help you change your ordinary habituations from negative to positive. When you take your bodhisattva vows, it helps you to refrain from actions and take on actions that generate altruistic motivation and thought and activity. And when you take your tantric vows, the vows help you to change your ordinary perception. So when you take the tantric vows, it helps you to change your ordinary perception to a tantric or higher perception of the world around you. So in other words, it grants you full enlightenment. So the three sets of vows are refuge, Bodhisattva, and Tantric. Ordinary vows, again I repeat, because there was a lot of noise just now, ordinary vows is to transform our ordinary habituations of body, speech, and mind, to train up for the next step. The Bodhisattva vows are to help us to attain altruistic action, altruistic motivation, altruistic thinking. Bodhicitta. Then the next set of vows is higher vows, is tantric vows, which teaches us to view the world around us in an extraordinary way, in a clear, concise, and very purified manner to help us attain emptiness, to help us attain full enlightenment. So the tantric vows, which are vital to become a Buddha, the Bodhisattva vows, which are vital to become a Buddha, and the refuge vows, which are vital to become a Buddha, if those are not taken, you cannot become a Buddha. If you do not take those vows, whatever yidam or meditational practices you do will not bear fruit quickly to become an enlightened being. So without those vows, can you make offerings? Sure you can. Without those vows, can you meditate and recite mantras and do sutras and study? Sure you can. But with those vows, by the power of those vows, the results is multiplied. The merits are multiplied. The swiftness and the quickness is multiplied. For example, if you want to catch a thief, if you catch a thief with a uniform of a policeman on or with no uniform, it will be quicker with a uniform. Just as a hypothetical kind of example. So like that, when you have your vows, whatever action you do, it is multiplied, it is quickened, and the results are quickened on the basis of those vows. Remember, these vows originated from Buddha himself. So therefore, there could be nothing but benefit from these vows. Once we take these vows, we have to honor them. We can go online and search the refuge vows, the Bodhisattva vows, and the tantric vows. We can learn from them. We can memorize them. We should recite them daily or weekly until we're familiar. And we should familiarize ourselves with those vows until it becomes second nature. And it will become second nature because it is just rehabituation. Those vows are not saying you're a bad person. Those vows are not saying you're an evil person. Those vows are saying you need to think and go in this direction to achieve full enlightenment. So, if you have practiced integrity in your daily life, you kept your promises, then holding on to vows would be very simple. If normally you don't hold on to integrity, then holding the vows would be difficult. And if we break these vows or we have an infraction on these vows, it does create negative merit. If we hold the vows and it creates positive merit at a quicker speed, then by breaking the vows, you collect demerit at a quicker speed and more powerful. I mean, it's obvious. You know, if you're going to go on a speedboat, if you're going to go really quick, if you have an accident, it's going to be a more severe accident as opposed to a rowboat that's not going very fast. So when you take the vows, you shouldn't be afraid of vows and think, well, these vows can make me go to the 3 lower realms or it's going to collect a lot of negative karma. What's making you collect a lot of negative karma is not the vows. What's collecting negative karma is you not having integrity, you not training yourself to hold the vows and to familiarize and to transform your habituations. Whether you have the vows or not will not determine if you go to the 3 lower realms. Your actions motivated, and your motivation is what creates the causes for the 3 lower realms. So whatever actions you're doing is the causes for you to go to the 3 lower realms, higher or lower. That's up to you. The vows do not make you go to the 3 lower realms. You make yourselves go to the 3 lower realms. So if you wish to engage in Yamataka, Vajragini, Citamanitara, Vajrakilaya, Avalokiteshvara, Manjushri. If you wish to engage in Tara, Kalachakra, Guya Samaja, Hiruka, Hevajra, any of the tantric practices that is expedient in becoming attained, then all those practices and all those initiations, you must take vows. Don't simply go for an initiation and think that, oh, I don't have to hold on to my vows. I can just take the initiation and recite the mantras. According to His Holiness Kyabje Solomon Rinpoche, All attainments arise from your vows and your words of honor. That's why Vajrasattva's practice is very important. That we need to do Vajrasattva's practice every single day if we have tantric commitments. Why? It stops and purifies the broken vows. And occasionally, and due to past habituations, we will break our vows sometimes. We're normal human beings, but it should lessen over time. All right? Once you take the vows, you don't become perfect. But once you take the vows, you strive towards perfection. When you take the vows, you don't become perfect, but you strive towards perfection. So therefore, it's very important that if we wish to accomplish higher meditations, higher practices, higher accomplishments, higher results in Buddhism, it is on the basis of our vows. It is on the 100% basis of our vows. If we don't hold our vows and we break our vows, we cannot gain the results that we wish to attain through a particular practice. If we wish to become a monk, and because we take on the vows of a monk, if we throw our vows to the wind and we have no deference or no respect toward our vows and we break our vows, then the results of becoming a monk will not be fulfilled. Will not be fulfilled. How can we wear tantric clothes or wear spiritual clothes but not hold the vows of the clothes that we're wearing that the clothes represent? So therefore, if we wish to have any higher attainments and higher results, we need to hold the vows. Without the vows, taking initiations will not bring results. Taking initiations and not holding the vows will not bring results. In fact, taking initiations and not holding the vows, it will generate even more demerit. So we shouldn't think that it's a smorgasbord of initiations. This Lama is giving that initiation, this Lama is giving this ritual, this Lama is giving that kind of practice, and I should run to get all of it and just take any vows inordinately and arbitrarily and as and when I like, and it doesn't matter. No, it does matter. It does matter. If you take your practice seriously, you get serious results. So therefore, holding the vows are the roots of spiritual attainments. And in Tantra, according to Buddha Vajradhara, holding the vows and words of honor are the roots of us gaining higher attainments, higher realizations, higher abilities to benefit others. And the very reason we hold our vows is out of compassion for others. When we have compassion for others, we hold our vows. When we hold our vows, we gain experience, we gain results from our meditation, we gain special abilities to be of more service to others. So holding our vows is out of compassion for others. So holding vows arises from the simple secular practice of integrity. If we have integrity, then other people respect us. If other people respect us, we can do more for them. We can accomplish more with them. We can do much more for others if we have integrity. So therefore, I think without having to take higher initiations and higher practices, we should start today with what? We should start today immediately with having integrity. If we are a person with integrity, then it's okay. If we're a person in the past, we have slipped all the time on our promises and commitments, we got to start today. We got to change today. Having integrity gives us peace of mind. Having integrity gives people around us peace of mind. Having integrity makes people like us and respect us, and it's easier for us to get along and have friends. Having integrity attracts people of the same quality and the same characters who can accomplish more with you or just be good friends. Having integrity and friends with integrity is real friendship. Having a partner or a wife and husband that you have integrity with, you share integrity, it's a real relationship. It's a real joining of good people. And having integrity is a great example to our children. And they grow up to be people with integrity. So today, in the beautiful floating market here in Amphawa, I wanted to give you a little talk on integrity with all the wonderful people walking by and the boats and the river and some of the stores open. Nice people, nice boats, nice rivers happening outside. Nice scene for you. But I do sincerely hope everybody will practice integrity and keeping your promise, because it is really 100% the correct route to go. whether you're spiritual or not. And if you want to go to higher spiritual practices and results, integrity is the key. Thank you and good night.